Mayor Robert, welcome back to Mayor's Monday here at WSAU. Time flies. We're already to the 4th of July coming up in a couple of days. Festivals are coming fast and furious across the area. Got Riverfront Rendezvous in Stevens Point. I know you're booked this weekend. You're a little busy, so you probably won't be hitting that up. But got some other stuff coming up here in the next month or so.
Well, just to let folks know, my oldest son is getting married this weekend, and we're getting the daughter that we never had. So congratulations, Matt and Taylor. As far as different things coming up, obviously there's the 4th of July celebration at Marathon Park that's been ongoing for years. We've also got coming up Balloon Fest coming up the weekend following. I think that's like the 11th, 12th, and 13th, if I'm correct. And then we have the Hmong Sports Community Festival coming up at the end of July. And last year, it was the first time that event was held. They expected a couple thousand people. They got over 8,000. All of these benefit the area very much as far as economic development, as far as restaurants, hotels, that type of thing. But it's also just one of those cool things in the summer that make Wausau cool and unique to attend. There's always something going on the weekends. And, there's always baseball too. And so it's summer. It's finally here. I know recently we've had that hot weather. I particularly like the hot weather because these are the days that we dream about back in January when it's 30 below.
Oh, yeah.
Or at the end of April when I got 2 feet up in my snow and I'm hearing from residents that are upset about it.
Mm-hmm.
This is summer, so. But when it's a nice day, I never seem to get phone calls, so I can't
They
figure
don't
that
want
out.
to give you credit for that. I just don't know why. Because this is exactly, this is the Chamber of Commerce type stuff that we ordered. As they say, this is the day that you want on the brochure when you're pitching Wausau to potential businesses or to potential residents.
Right.
So, and of course, we had one big announcement. I know it wasn't necessarily something you had a part of this week out at the Great Lakes cheese plant on County Road O, that they got some money from the state.
They got a grant from the governor as far as for workforce training, and once again, to me, that's through the Wisconsin Economic Development Corporation. Once again, that facility, that entire campus, if you will, for the new business incubator on that other side, far west side of Wausau. It's another one of those things that we had started, and it just proves that what we're doing as far as future economic development is right. And they seen the interest, they seen what was going to be a part of it, and they were able to get grant funding for it for $500,000 as far as for more jobs. And the estimate now for jobs to go up, when they first presented it, was probably about 200 or so. Now it's probably even closer to 300. And it's just getting bigger and bigger. So to me, I think that just proves that a lot of people are looking at Wausau, a lot of different companies that are interested in us. There's other interests out in that area, other interests throughout the city as far as economic development. And we want to keep that positive momentum going.
Yeah, no doubt about it. That whole area, of course, is designated as shovel-ready earlier this spring, so that means that this is a good place to do business. This is a place where we want your business.
Exactly, and according to the WEDC out of Madison, that was the first time that ever happened in Marathon County, that event back in March we were declared shovel-ready. And I think it was like only, don't quote me on this, it was under 20 as far as throughout the state.
I think 18 was the number.
18 or 19.
Yeah.
I know they got Foxconn. Obviously, it's not that big, but that's their thing. That we got a lot of good things going on up here. So
yeah, we certainly do. But one thing that can always be improved on, and you were on the tour here last week, and it's the.
Let me guess, roads.
Oh man, how did you know the road situation?
Because there were some real kidney punchers. Let me tell you. Yeah, there was a group of us.
Yeah.
Group of local and state officials and highway commissioners, the fellows individuals that would really know about the roads. And we had a bunch of our state representatives and also people that were running for office. Now, I was not aware that was going to happen beforehand. But basically it was to let our legislators know that, hey, we've got some real issues, not just here in Wausau, but in the region, north of town, east of town, and the different communities surrounding us. And I made kind of an impassioned plea. I know the governor has not really talked about anything as far as fixing the roads recently. I'm going to guess that's because of an election year. And it wasn't put in the state budget like the majority of us think it should have been. And that's not to be overly critical, it's just an observation. Again, what I had recommended is that if we had to do something, which we do, obviously our roads need it, But proposing like a 5 cent gallon tax on gas, I think tolls would not work. I think that'd be foolish on our part. And has anybody been in Illinois or Indiana lately in their toll system? Obviously, the tolls I just think would be a complete disaster, frankly. Obviously, our roads have issues. There's only so much that the city or the county can do. And, since we do contribute a lot to like shared revenue as far as like for state funding for different roads and different projects, the one thing that did surprise me on that, we should be getting that money back, number one, but what did surprise me, I did not realize that there was so many bridges that, are getting questionable. And I know I've mentioned this on this show and several others before. The infrastructure, not just here in our county or our state, but across the country, it really needs to be addressed. It's got to be paid for, folks. And so when somebody gets mad at me as far as even the thought of like a 5 cent a gallon tax on gas, it goes back to good roads for everybody, and it's something that we all use, and something that should be addressed, and something that I hope will be probably after the November elections.
Yeah, absolutely. I know one of the roads that they've kind of focused on was not only Grand Avenue going out of Wausau down to the Schofield and Weston area, which of course everybody knows how bad that is. The plows won't even. I mean, it doesn't even work to plow that road sometimes because of the heaves.
Well,
But
and
also, Town Line Road was also
Town
on
Line
that
Road was another one,
tour.
and we're doing some work on that coming up this year with the county for improvements on Town Line. And we always try to do the overlays and whatever we can as far as street maintenance, and we have regular street maintenance. We have projects going out 3 to 5 years from now. It's just part of maintenance and part of the regular procedure, if you will. But again, it isn't just Wausau, it's all communities. If you speak to other mayors or city administrators, they're all going to tell you the same thing. To our legislators in Madison, respectfully, please listen. I mean, obviously, the situation is getting worse. And one thing that I've even noticed this year than what I have not seen in years, really, and maybe I'm just noticing it more, there does seem to be more potholes. And not just here in Wausau, but anywhere you go throughout the state. Mm-hmm. And I took a trip a while back, and I'm just like, well, at least our roads aren't this bad. But then when I think about it, it's just like, no road should be like this. So that's where we're at right now.
Yeah, absolutely. It's an ongoing topic, and we will see what the post-election Assembly and Senate ends up doing about it, and where this ends up going, because it's also not just a Wisconsin problem. It's everywhere across the state. Even back where I'm from in South Dakota, we're singing the same song right now. Talking about going somewhere. When you go somewhere, you've got to park somewhere as well. And I know you had a meeting last week regarding the situation in parking downtown. There's been a lot made about this. A lot of good fun promos made out of it for.
I got a pretty good sense of humor. I think some things are pretty clever, and I told the owner so when I stopped to have a beverage there not too long ago. But no, the city has been addressing the parking issue now for several months. Again, this is something that has been in the works for over 20 years. It is another complex problem that's going to take time to get resolved. We've had a series of meetings with the stakeholders downtown, the business owners, residents. We want to get that public input, let everybody have their say. And this would be including changing different things. We're going to have parking kiosk up, and if everything goes right, this will all be put in place in October. And we've been trying to ramp up the message here probably since late April, early May, that let folks know these changes are going to be coming. But then changing some things downtown, and this is where we're going to get the stakeholder input. Do you want to keep it at 60 minutes downtown? Do you want to keep it, or would you like to change it to 90 minutes or 2 hours? Also the parking fees, if you will, if you get a parking ticket. I will give our parking enforcement credit. They're very efficient at their job. However, I don't want to have it where Wausau is not known for being friendly, be it to guest or tourist. I don't want them to be upset that they spend a lot of money downtown and they come out and get a $5 parking ticket. It kind of tends to ruin somebody's day. But we've also got people that take advantage of the situation. We have employees that park wherever they want. We did some research. I've got one person that last year got 83 different tickets. I mean, come on. Realistically, and they have been talked to. And there's surprisingly a lot of people, I guess they just think it's cheaper to get the parking ticket. Part of this parking process procedure, if you will, as far as getting out there to the public, is again to let folks know that changes are coming. We're going to be more like just about every city in Wisconsin. We're finally going to catch up in that way. But we also are proposing different things, like a tiered type system in a 1-year period. First time and we have license plate recognition now, the software, which is going to make things even more efficient. It'll initially start, if you get a ticket, it'll be like a warning. No dollars or anything like that. This is your one freebie for the year. After that, it goes up. 1 ticket, X amount of dollars. 2 tickets, more dollars. Hopefully folks will get the message, the employees or whoever is doing things that they're not supposed to be doing and taking advantage of the situation. We've got thousands of different parking spots downtown. We've got several large parking structures that aren't being utilized. And really, when you think about it, for the downtown area, those parking spots should really be for our guests or people shopping, going in and out, you know. I personally think 60 minutes is too short of a time. Question is, do we go to 90 minutes or 2 hours? You know, in different cities, you go to Madison, Milwaukee, Appleton, parking is always at a premium. Again, I still want to maintain that small town flair, if you will, that Wausau has. But again, you know, it's just time to get some things done and changed. I have heard from the business owners loud and clear. I've heard from residents loud and clear. And again, this is just part of the situation of something that should have been done a long time ago that is finally being addressed, which isn't the first time that's happened since I've been here. So
we'll look forward to where those discussions go. And you said this is something that, you know, it's going to take time, but it could turn around pretty quickly. I mean, before the end of the fall, we could have a new system in place.
Hopefully by October. Like I said, we're going to be having a parking kiosk where you can wave your phone at it, that type of thing, pay for time. I'm going to be here for an hour, I'm going to be here for 2 hours, whatever, and utilize it that way. But it is a process, and we have talked about this before, and I just want to make sure that residents know, okay, this is coming. Of course, it's got to be approved by the Finance and SISM committees, Capital Improvements and Street Maintenance, and then by the City Council.
Mm-hmm. We'll look forward to where those discussions go in the future. Anything else that you'd like to add here this week, then, before we let you go for the holiday?
I guess I got a million things going on in my head, but nothing that really sticks out. So, I would like to say, as far as the 4th of July, you know, without getting preachy sounding, I'm a veteran. Days like the 4th of July or Veterans Day or Memorial Day should be very sacred. I know everybody will have some time off. Be fun, be safe, but also remember the meaning behind special days like that. That I can't stress enough, and I hold that stuff very sacredly, as it seems like most people do nowadays, which I think is great.
We'll do that. We'll be back again next month to chat with you again.
Looking forward to it. Take care, Wausau.